We are getting so excited because we are putting in our duck eggs today, and this is the 5th year that I have been incubating eggs in class. We do ducks and chickens, and y'all can see, you just heard, every 4 hours this IncuView incubator rotates the eggs for you with this little arm crank, and that is amazing because if you've incubated with one of the cheaper incubators, you know that you have to turn them every 4 hours, which means a lot of work for you as a teacher. So this is in no way an ad. This is the best incubator I researched forever 5 years ago, and I love it for a lot of reasons. The first is that it has a built-in humidity gauge. The only con to this thing is a lot of people said this doesn't read correctly. So the very easy fix is to put your own temperature and humidity gauge inside so you can double check that everything's correct. I also love it because it has this clear lid, and this allows for your students to see in really well and really get a full view of what's going on in the incubator. I'm gonna link this in the description. I bought the one that had the egg candling light so that you can see inside the embryos and show your students, and it had everything you need to get started. And then we are putting in our duck eggs today, and they're a little dirty because that's how they come. And I usually don't clean them off. The only thing I do to my eggs is I do like to put a number on them, and I name them. So this is Huey, and this kind of helps as they're hatching out know which one is which, and we can kind of keep up with the progress. And so I've found in the past naming them really does kind of help us, especially as we go back. You can watch, we YouTube live stream it, and we can go back each morning and see all of the excitement that we missed over the night, and that's always fun. So students get to tune in from home, their parents can see it. It's almost like April the Giraffe, the live stream. So everybody's able to watch and tune in, and I will be doing that on this YouTube channel so that y'all can all follow along as well. But duck eggs take 28 days to hatch out. Chicken eggs only take 21, so what I do is I put in these 1 week before my chicken eggs, and I get them from a local farm that donates. And then when the ducks hatch out, they take the baby ducks back, and then we keep the chickens outside in our chicken coop until the end of the school year, and then we give them back to that farm. So the humidity for your duck and chicken eggs is supposed to be at 55%. This one we put water inside usually 2 to 3 times a day, in the morning, before we leave school, and then one of us comes up at night to top it off. And that's literally all you have to do. And so you're looking for 55% humidity, but it can go up to 65, and that's totally fine. And then the temperature that we're wanting to get, and mine is climbing right now because I've set it, the temperature is supposed to be at 99.5 degrees, and inside it's reading cooler than it actually is, so I just cranked it up a little bit. And the goal is to have 55% humidity and 99.5 degree temperature, and that's the range we want to keep it in to stay safe with our incubation. So I will be showing you guys how this goes throughout the whole process, and then of course hatch date will be live streamed, and I'll be sharing with you guys more. Phillips is helping me get the incubator set up, and she is the English teacher across the hall. She's the lit teacher on Instagram. She gets to always help us with all of our shenanigans. So Huey, duck number 1, is going in the incubator.
Huey.
And we will see Huey in 28 days emerge as a little baby duckling. Well, good morning, Willow. All right, I'm gonna check on the eggs first, but I'll be back. So today we have had our duck eggs in the incubator for 1 week, and you can see when you come in, the humidity is now at 16%. That is what the humidity in the air is naturally. So it has bottomed out, but that happens overnight, and it's a slow, gradual thing. We do fill it up at night. My co-teacher coaches softball, so she comes and checks on it after practice. And then all I do is put a little bit of water into the incubator, and this one I just pour in a little, and I see how much it raises. And the goal is that we want our humidity right around 55%, but anywhere in this range is okay. And then our temperature we want at 99.5, so 99 and 100 is good. And you can of course Google this and double check that this is right for you, but this is what I've found that works. And I put all of these reminders because I was out of town for a wedding. And so this has been really helpful so that other people in the school, like our custodians, know what's going on. And then I created this humidity log, and I have a lot of co-teachers and parapros that are with me, and I wanted to make sure someone was checking on it each day, but I wanted to make sure that we weren't like doing it twice. So we had a log so that people knew it had been checked on in the morning, during school, and then at night, and that was just keeping us all on the same page together. So that was a good way to kind of keep us all on the same page. But our chicken eggs are gonna go in today, and they were supposed to go in yesterday, but first day back. And I got these from the same local farm that gave me the ducks. And we've got all different types of eggs in different colors and breeds. Now, I will tell you, if you've ever done egg incubation or if this is your first time, white eggs candle the easiest, which means you can see the embryo forming inside of the egg, and the lighter the shell is, the better, because these are really hard to candle, these darker ones, but they produce really cool chickens. So we'll be able to candle these duck eggs, and they're really great to see the embryos developing inside. And that's a really great thing to do with students. And I also show them a really cool video on YouTube. And you can just type in chicken embryo development, and it shows them how the baby's forming in this video and everything that's happening on each day. So that's one of the things we watch as we start our egg incubation. So our chickens are going in today, and then they'll have 21 days left and be hatching out right along our ducks. The duck eggs have been in the incubator for about a week and a half, and I am in my science closet with the light off, and I wanted to show y'all what you can see when you candle the eggs. So you can tell that there is an embryo in here because y'all see the network of veins that are running through there, and if you look really closely, right here where my finger is, you can see the baby, and it's really small right now. But when you're doing chicken or duck eggs, the way to tell if it's forming, even before you can really see the embryo, like these duck eggs have been going, but about the third or fourth day, you start to see this network of veins, and that's always your sign that the baby is doing well and developing inside of it. Of course, I wait, and maybe 2 weeks into it, if I don't see any of that, you might remove the eggs. However, you got to be careful, because if they're not white eggs, they can be really hard to spot inside. So you don't, on my non-white eggs, I don't remove them. I just wait to see if they hatch, because it is really hard to see in a brown shell if the baby's inside. But look at that. So I will turn the lights off in my class and candle the egg and let students see that there's a baby forming. And it's just such a cool way for them to see that there is actually progress happening inside of the egg. And y'all can see right now that the baby is moving. It is so cool. I just performed emergency surgery, and Louis had been hatching out for about 2 days, so I made sure to wait as long as I possibly could, because they absorbed the yolk in their final stages of development, and the membrane, you can see, was really dried out, so where they had already pipped. And see, you have to be really careful, because if you don't let them take a while to hatch out, those veins can be severed, and so they have to be all the way dry. So when I saw that the cell membrane had been dried out for over a day, I went ahead and I was really careful to just peel back the shell and not to touch the cell membrane, and then I got it open enough that little Louis could say hello. So I've put Louie back into the incubator because it's nice and warm in there, and while they dry off, their chirping also helps motivate the other eggs, and you can actually hear some of the other babies chirping inside of the eggs, and so they start communicating to each other, and oftentimes they'll even lay on the other egg, and it's so cute. But once Louie's all the way dried off at the end of today, we'll have Louie under a heat lamp with some water and food. But one thing that a lot of people don't know is ducks and chickens absorb their yolk right before they hatch out, so they can technically live on that for a good day or two. But I always give them just time to dry off, and then I get them under that heat lamp with food and water just in case.